semi-co-host. She's being cute, looking at something. I don't know what she's doing. But either way, we just come from a rather one-sided series, which is Soul versus Ash, but this should be a lot closer. Looking forward to the games here. Now, there is going to be a lot of mirror matches in this series, so if you do not like mirrors, I do apologize. But that's just how the cookie crumbles with the SCPL. Now let's actually have a look at what maps we're going to be seeing in this set. Okay, so having a look at the screen, we do have Set 1 on Neo Electric Circuit, Set 2 on Neo Aztec, Set 3 Return of the King, Set 4 Flight Dreamliner, and Set 5 on Troy. Now, really cool maps. This is going to be this is going to be the last time you see this map pool in the group stage, but you are going to be seeing it once again in the playoffs, which will be starting in 2 weeks. But let's have a look at what our our second set of teams are going to be today. It's going to be IRK versus 9th team. Now, this is going to be an important match for both of these teams. Unfortunately, neither of them are going to make it into the playoffs. They are both on 2-2, currently tied, not completely, but tied in match wins and losses. 9th team are an amalgamation of the Foreign Brood War team and TL staff. So that's why they didn't play last round, but 9th team 2-0 up, or 2-2, IRK 2-2. IRK did come second place overall in round 1, so they did get to the playoff finals, where they did fall to White Clan, unfortunately. But let's have a look at why this is an important game for both of those by having a look at the rankings. Now, as you can see, Soul and NetWars already have qualified for the playoffs. There is no way in this final game of round 2 group stage that IRK or 9th team are going to be able to win. But IRK and 9th team both playing against each other here for the ceremonial 3rd place spot in their group. It doesn't get them anything, unfortunately, but going to be important for both teams who want to show off very good games to their fans. Now let's actually have a look at the matchups we're going to be seeing in this series. We're going to have a PvZ between Arcneon and Alan Dalty, a PvP between Oyaji and V1, a ZVZ between Kamizerg and Faust, and a ZVZ between between Norgrim and Hirmu. So some really well-known players there. Faust, known for his craziness, he did go for the Evo Chamber First ZVZ build in round 1. So let's see how he's going to do in this one. So yeah, so that should be a good set of matchups. So let's introduce our first 2 players. Okay, so on the left-hand side of your screen, you do have fighting for IRK. It's going to be our Protoss player for this first game. It's going to be Arcneon. I know Arcneon, a player who's been around for donkey's years, has disappeared from the Brood War scene and come back a couple of times. But it looks like he's here to stay with Remastered. He hasn't played so far in round 2. But he did go 2 for 1 against his opponent so far last round. And his opponent going to be making his debut game in round 2 in the final week. It's going to be Alan Dalty. Now, you may have seen him pop up every once in a while in the stream chat. He's not as active. He did go 0-3 last round, unfortunately, but he had some very strong opponents. Foreign Brood War were in a very, very strong group last round. Now, 9th team done a little bit better this time, but is Alan Dalty going to be able to make a dent here in Arcneon's defense as they move on to Neo Electric Circuit? Now, ZVP on Neo Electric Circuit currently at 4 for 1 in the SCPL, so Zerg doing pretty well, so that could be a good thing for Alan as he moves off into this game. Now, Arcneon's going to be a strong opponent to face off against him, but in case you've not seen Neo Electric Circuit before, there is 12, 6, 3 and 9 o'clock gas bases, and mineral only high ground thirds hidden behind stacked buildings, kind of like a 4-player Medusa. So a very, very fun map to play on, very fun map to watch. Let's see how Alan can do against the might that is Arcneon. In our first game, it's going to be IRK's Arcneon versus Team 9's Alan Dalty. Okay, and starting us off here in the top right-hand 2 o'clock position, we do have the yellow Protoss fighting for IRK. It's going to be Arcneon. And his opponent down here in the bottom right-hand side, a fellow Brit, a fellow ally of mine, of course, because there aren't that many British Brood War players. Skillful Quail, a new one as well, so Alan, a pretty cool guy, nonetheless. He's been quite helpful when I've been setting up my overlay and everything. He's sort of given me a little bit of advice when it comes to coding and everything, so huge shout-outs to him. But he is going to be our Zerg player in the 5 o'clock position, in the blue, in Team 9 shirt color, so he's going to be fairly safe. Now, Arcneon, known to get drunk before his games. Now, I'm not sure if he's going to do that here. I kind of hope he hasn't done. But if he is drunk, then that could mean that this was a very interesting game. Let's see how Arcneon's going to do here. Oh, Dino T is living in the UK. Okay, so Arcneon was drunk in this game, so if there's an upset, that could be why. Now, we have Alan making a little bit of a joke here with Arcneon. Arcneon, of course, very funny. I did used to play a lot with him back when we were both in N-Stop. It was one of the clans he did come back to create, and then disappeared, leaving me as clan leader. That was a certainly interesting situation because everyone left. Obviously because I wasn't as good as Arcneon was. But Arcneon going to be going for a Forge first. Fast expand, most likely. He has scouted the very early pool. And it should be early speed as well coming in from Alan. So is Alan going to be able to do any damage? No, he isn't. There's going to be 2 cannons built straight away. So even though Arcneon's a little bit drunk, he's not drunk enough to not build any cannons, so that's a good move. Could you imagine if back in the Kesper days, one of the players turned up to Pro League drunk? They would get like immediately banned, probably. Oh no! Oh no, Alan! Alan sent his lings in the wrong place. You can't really rally across the map because your lings will get caught up behind here. And he's only just realized, I think. That is a very... Oh, man. Oh, wow. That was a GG. And you know what? I can't... I don't know what to say. GG! Arcneon takes out Alan in the quickest. That may actually be the statistically quickest game of the SDPL yet. I would need to double check. It would be very hard to check. But what a... I don't know. I am absolutely speechless right now. I don't know how I can explain that game. There's not really too much I can say about it. I mean, Alan bobbed himself. That was what happened. I'm sorry, Alan. I don't mean to take the mickey. But Alan did step in for someone else, I believe. So that's why it maybe looked a little bit funky. But either way, that's going to lead us on to our second game. Our second game should be a little bit better. Should be a lot closer as well. It's going to be Oyachi versus V1. So let's quickly head on over to the intro while I load up the next replay. And I will see you guys in just over a minute.